Hello, I welcome you to this edition of Common Sense Life. I appreciate you for making it to this program today. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing. Can you just help me invite all your friends on your address? In your address directory or folder, please just do that for me. Invite and share. If you're watching the recording, please share so we can have some time together. Everybody who has the heart of who has this struggle at heart should be able to join us. I've tried to share on my timeline, on my page. I hope you do the same. God bless you, Ernestino Jr., Mary Sone, you are watching. Thank you for making it to this appointment. Eric Ndifo, thank you for joining. Please, as you join, share. Kuku Blings, you are always there. Please just share as usual. Invite your friends. Invite your friends. Let's have a good time together. Can we not hit some hundreds before I begin? The Most High God shall be the watchman of this nation. Yes. Commie Donald, thank you for making it to the program. Invite somebody to join us. Ayuk Ernest, thank you for joining. Matakwi, hello back. And Vivian Abedu, hello. Share, please do so. Cuckoo has just caught the spirit that we should share. Let's share, please. Do her a favor by sharing. And Jacinta Fon, I know you've already shared. I know you. So go ahead and share, invite. Let's hit a good number. I have, yes, Njukan, thank you. Hi back. I want to talk about 3 important things. I want to advise the movement on, first of all, on what I call the insurance against Ballamilites, or the Bala phenomenon in our struggle. It's not going to be centered on him, but this is a phenomenon we already have. So I want to advise the movement, not those who are outside, but those who are inside our struggle. Then I will critically examine the congressional letter. The letter that was written by 24 U.S. congressmen to the government of Cameroon. To Nikki Haley, the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. And it was intended that he should take some actions and make them known to the government of La Republique and the U.S. Cameroon citizens, or the Cameroon community in the U.S. about the actions she's taking. So I want us to, some people read that letter, they had their own interpretation. But I owe you an interpretation when any letter concerns a movement. I will make my analysis and make known my analysis to you. So that's just what I'll be doing. So we see the positive and the negative, so we can do what we have to do to win and to win. Then I will be looking at, I would like to congratulate the consortium for what they did. And then I would also like to talk about why La Republique is burning down our schools. Because we have hardcore evidence that they are actually burning our schools. I want to talk about why they are doing so. There are some that are deep. It's hard for some to believe that a government can go on such a rampage, burning down schools. Why should government agents mastermind the burning of schools in our country? Why? I will talk about that. So if you have shared, then you're my friend. As you share too, I would invite you to also like my page so that whenever I come on air, you receive a notification. So like my page, go to the page and like it. Also, is it follow it. So we'll always be together anytime. I would like to read this letter so that you also get to read it, because I believe that some people did not read it. Some of those things on social media, we just flash our eyes to say, and we look for the comments, and we just go. So we may not have read it the way you should read it. So I will read it with you. I will read it for you. all protocols observed. This letter, this one was written to through Secretary Tillerson, who is the U.S. Secretary of State, who is like the Minister of Foreign Affairs in La Republic. The U.S. Secretary of State, through the U.S. Secretary of State, to the Honorable Nikki Haley, who is the U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations. So all protocol observed. Let me just read the letter. This was written by 24 U.S. congressmen, and they had written this. They had written before. This is not the first time. They wrote on the 17th of October. So this they are writing on the 1st of November. So you can see the frequency. You can see their concern. So let me read what they have written. Then I'll give you my analysis. We write to express our concern. We write to express our concern regarding the worsening situation in Cameroon. In particular, we would call your attention to reports by the New York Times and the BBC about injuries, assaults, and deaths in the English-speaking regions. After the reported deaths of over 20 people during rallies held in early October, we are approaching a critical juncture. The rallies were held to protest the way that Francophone and Anglophone regions of the country were fused together in 1961. The first, I should just be analyzing as we go, so I don't bore you with reading. Now, the first important acknowledgement we have in this letter is that they are acknowledging the real problem. The U.S. congressmen, they are putting their State Department under the pressure to fully acknowledge the real problem. Some people said there were just some people who went out on the 2nd of misguided extremists, and some went out because the schools have a problem, because educational system, because of the legal system. No, here they have acknowledged in paragraph 1 that the protests was against the way, the manner that the Francophone, the English-speaking and the French-speaking people were fused together in 1961. I like that. This has never been part of mainstream conception of the problem. So that's progress. That's progress. When we know when people start acknowledging the problem, people who are in a position to address, to do something about it, when they start acknowledging the real problem, we have made progress. So the next paragraph. For reasons based both on our value and our national interest, we support a unified Cameroon based on both equality amongst all language and ethnic groups and mutual respect. We urge the United States government to convey this position to the current government and to the Cameroonian community here in the United States. We are concerned about disturbing State Department and Amnesty International reports of live ammunition being used to disperse protests, mass arrests, and increasingly harsh crackdown on freedom of the press, severe restrictions on the movement of people living in predominantly Anglophone areas, an internet blackout imposed by the government targeting the country's English-speaking minority. So here's what this is the most analyzed part of the letter that I saw on the internet, on social media. Now the first thing is that the congressmen increasingly are saying that they are interested in the Cameroonian problem for two reasons. One, because of the American values of freedom, and number two, because of their national interest, to the extent that it concerns their national interests. America has a national interest in Cameroon. They also have a national interest in the sub-region. So that is what motivates them for action. And then they stand for, we support a unified Cameroon based on both equality among the languages and the ethnic groups. Now, when you say you support something based on something, you're actually saying you support that thing conditionally. That's a conditional statement. We support a unified Cameroon based on this. That means that if these things are not there, we no more support the unified Cameroon. We will not support a unified Cameroon unless under these circumstances. When diplomats write, if you don't understand their language, you don't get the substance. So this is a clear warning to Cameroon, to La République, that we will support a unified Cameroon, not under these circumstances, because what follows that statement is every reason to show that there is no equality. And that's why they are concerned, because what follows after that statement of we support a unified Cameroon based on the following conditions, everything that follows is a very strong reason why they will not support a unified Cameroon. Because they start talking of what? They start mentioning them all over the place. They are that number one. Let me read it from their write-up so you can see all that they mentioned. We are concerned about reports of what? Mass arrests, harsh crackdown of the press, freedom of the press, severe restrictions of the people, the Anglophones, the movement of the Anglophones, blackout in Anglophone regions, and they went out to enumerate all of them. They hashed the killings, and then they said here again that the state security forces in the next paragraph, state security forces, they have been the harsh tactics, including alleged torture and extrajudicial killings, have occurred, and then so all these are strong reasons to show that these things are happening in one part of the country, in one linguistic group, if you want. And it is happening in one ethnic side of the country. It's not happening on the other side. And this is not, it's not under these conditions that we will support a unified Cameroon. So that's a clear warning. That's a clear goal. You don't expect the congressmen to say it any different than to say that your country will remain one if these conditions are there. But and in the letter it's showing you the conditions are not there. And then there is nothing being done for these conditions to be met so that we can support a unified Cameroon. So that's why they are putting their chief diplomat under pressure to do the right thing. So let me continue to read this again, and I think that was the most important part of it. And then let me see if I can read you the conclusion. Even if you are tired, you want to read anything, read the introduction and the conclusion. So let me read the conclusion. The conclusion says, we urge you, they are urging the Secretary Tillerson and especially the ambassador of the UN, to do your utmost to ensure that Congress is kept promptly advised of all the latest developments in Cameroon. We also ask to be kept informed of this of the State Department and Ambassador Haley's efforts to protect the rights of all language and ethnic groups in Cameroon, in particular the country's English-speaking minority, which has too often, this is an assertion, it is no more an allegation, which has too often been the target of discrimination. We also ask that you make this information available to members of the Cameroonian diaspora community via a briefing in the United Nations mission, and so that they can be fully informed about the challenges facing their home country and about the U.S. effort to assist. So here's the thing. They want to have action and they want reports of what the U.S. is doing. The Congress, the lawmakers, they want this report regularly. They want to be kept informed. And they want that the Cameroonian community that is putting them under pressure should also be informed about what has been done. So kudos to those who are doing anything to put the lawmakers or the lawmaking body to work, to make sure that they are fully addressing the issue of our people, our struggle. So, it is a positive in my own analysis, because there is nothing that La République is doing to ensure equality. They are against dialogue. No sincere, no honest dialogue will ever be the case in this struggle. Because why? It doesn't favor them. So they are not. They want any kind of it, anything that will look like dialogue. That's what they want. Anything that will look like some dialogue. But they are not ready for real dialogue. And it is dialogue that can bring a people together. So the US have understood that the continuous use of force, the continuous use of extrajudicial killing, and the continuous polarization of this problem, singling out a people who were different, who just decided to come together, single them out for such treatment, does not meet the standard of equality. So it is clear that the US will not support, based on their values and their national interests, they will not continue to support La République. So that's a warning. That's exactly what has happened. So I congratulate those 24 congressmen. Those are the ones that penned down their concern. But I want to tell you that there are more. And as these reports start coming in to the Congress, daily or weekly or continually, you see that more and more people are going to be moved to action. Inaction cannot persist forever. As long as the results do not reflect the values of the US government and the results do not reflect their national interests, because I tell you, the US has national interest not only in Cameroon, in southern Cameroon, but in the sub-region. If anything happens in southern Cameroon, it will affect the US interest in the sub-region, in Nigeria. I know that it will destabilize a lot of things. It will affect the US interests. So that is why this is not acceptable. So the US, we want to say thank you because you are not giving a blank check to La République. The only reason why you support him, for your information, is not possible. It's not possible. The only reason why you will support a unified Cameroon is not possible and will never be possible. Because we will never be one, we will never be treated the same, we will never be equal, and it is happening every day. Thousands are being killed. People march in Douala, nobody is killed. But when we march, 120-something people are killed, 1,800 something people are shot with live bullets and wounded, 150 people will disappear. So that's not equality. That's not equality. People march in Yaoundé, the national television comes to cover the event. When we march with leaves in our hands and say peace, hundreds are killed with live bullets. So that's not the equality the US stands for to support a unified Cameroon. That's not. So that condition has not been met, and that condition is not being met, and that condition will not be met. Thank you. So I want to address the issue of our struggle. La République du Cameroon is in. When we started, they thought we're just noisemakers, as usual. So, when they thought that we were serious, they started a campaign. Their campaign was to brand us as terrorists, because that's cheap propaganda. That is how to turn international opinion against us, because people don't like terrorists. There's no good terrorists, no bad terrorists. Every terrorist is terrorist. So they thought that they could just use that to brand us and then take us out. But they did not know that information, the dissemination of information has changed in the present world, and that things are no longer the same. Social media has changed the world, but they are living in their 50s, so they don't know that. So they thought they had a monopoly to inform and deform. But they were shocked. They tried to brand us, and that is where they came out with a strategy to start burning our schools, burning down structures, so as to give us that name. If they have succeeded anywhere, it's within the Ewondo Beti mafia group. They have succeeded to influence local vocabulary, especially amongst them, that this arson is committed by terrorists. But actually, they were the ones who started burning it in order to find a reason, first of all, to charge those who have been arrested. People were arrested for just demonstrating, or just for just rejecting a proposal from government during the negotiation. They were arrested the next day, so they had charged them, gone ahead to charge them for terrorism, and they had no evidence. So they needed to create evidence. So they started burning down schools. That was the initial reason why they burned down the schools. Because they were trying to burn and snap, get pictures, get photographs, arrest some innocent people, cause them to make confessions, and try to find evidences so as to crack down on this people, the uprising. So that's what they did. Then later on they discovered it doesn't work. It does not work. It has not worked. They have not succeeded to brand us as terrorists. The problem has been internationalized, and the international community has understood the problem more than they can lie to them. So they had to change. But they still continue to burn. Why do they continue to burn? You see, they are continuing to burn because the presence of this state of emergency in southern Cameroon is a money-making business. There is a dark tunnel that brings in millions of dollars in the name of trying to contain the problem in southern Cameroon. There's a lot of dark dollars that are coming in. The group Bolloré, the Elf, and the Betty Mafia, they are doing everything. They are pumping money to make sure that whatever money can do, money should do to stop these English-speaking Cameroonians. So, because of that dark tunnel that is bringing money in, this problem must be seen to persist. If it attains normalcy, this particular cabal that is gaining and profiting from the continuation of this crisis will lose. The money will stop flowing. So, in fact, if they had succeeded to brand us as terrorists, they would have even justified more requests for aid from other countries that are helping them to fight terrorism, so that more money will flow. Now the French, the Elf and Total and Group Bolloré and so on, whose interests are threatened, now they want to make sure that they are the ones financing, funding this operation repression. Stop them by all means, whatever money can do. So that clique, that group, which is profiting, people like Ekema, all these CPDM bigwigs, all the security bosses, all the DOs, all the elected officials, all the secret the beer and the leaders of the army, and all the operation command, that means the particular unit that is sent just to kill, the operational command force, they're killers. All of them are they earn out of station allowances, they earn hotel allowances, they pay them highly on a daily basis. They give them money, they say, go and do this and bribe, go and do this and bribe. There's some other person we need to bribe, they need some other things we need to buy and do. So a lot of money is just being pumped. There's somebody we need to buy. We need to get across to him. He is a very important figure in the community. If we can buy him over, then this thing will be solved. They will give the money. So that money has no accountability. The money is just a slush form that they are just pushing into the English regions to make sure. If it means to bribe the bishops or the pastors, if it means to bribe the school owners or whatever, if it's in the need to bribe the chiefs, they are just, the money is flowing as long as the problem persists. If the problem is seen to normalize, that channel shall be cut off. So these people are making sure that no, it should not normalize. They are happy when we are organizing things like this. So there must be something once in a while that happens to cause an escalation. And then they will say, oh, the problem is still there, we need more money. And the money will continue to flow. And then there are some institutions that are being guarded now 24/7. Especially the schools, whether they are mission schools, private schools. And these people pay officials to do the job. Even though they are there in a state of emergency situation where they are supposed to patrol everywhere. No. In Cameroon, you don't, even those who are paid by the government to do their job, they require those that come for those services to pay them as if they were clients. So all the principals of schools and proprietors of schools are now clients to the military, clients to these colonial forces, the gendarmes, the police, and the armies. They are called clients. So they charge them monthly what they have to pay. They have to pay. There are some reports I got from Barretta News that they were charging proprietors of schools to pay them 150,000 francs a month, which is about $300. every month in order for to ensure the presence of security forces on their premises 24/7. They are being paid, and then they are being paid by the government for out-of-station allowances to keep the peace in Southern Cameroon. But that's not all. In addition to that, the proprietors of school have to pay the security bosses or the mafia bosses to make sure that they keep those soldiers there. And some of them are not willing to pay. Some don't even have the money to pay because students are not registered and not coming to school. So they tell them, okay, especially the private schools and the mission schools, if you don't want to pay us, then we will withdraw our troops. And to show you that you made a mistake, they have to be the ones to burn down the school if you are not paying. They will burn down the school so that you will see the need to pay them to guard the school. If you don't guard the school, know that they will keep on burning the schools. So when you refuse to pay, they send their agents. They are still the people who are guarding the place. They go and burn down the school. That's what they are doing. They burn down the school. And then they will tell you, did we not tell you? We asked you to pay just 150,000 a month and you refuse to pay. How much are you going to spend now to build that hostel or those 2 hostels? Imagine all the computers you have lost. How much would that be? So that is what the mafia is doing because they are making money. Number 3, there is a lot of the mafia and the security, the colonial forces are making a lot of money. They don't want to go back to their stations. They don't want to go back to anywhere because they are making too much money, extra money. What of the people that they have? When they burn a school, for example, they will say, okay, they have burned a school here. It means there are some rascals there, so there are some terrorists there, so we need to go get them. So they will organize Kale and go there and go and arrest some innocent people. They don't know what is happening. They will arrest them. Then they will take them to the station and ask everybody to pay 50,000 francs, 100,000 francs before they can release them. The people don't know. They don't understand what is going on. The security bosses order the schools to be burnt. Then they come the next day for Kale that they are looking for the people who burned down the schools. They arrest innocent people and they ask those innocent people to pay 50,000 francs each before they are released. So you see the kind of black market that is going on. This is completely inhuman. This is what is going on. They have a direct interest to burn down our schools. Because that plays into the psychology of the mafia bosses who think that if things like that are happening, then we need to pump in more money. We need to send them for more missions. We need to increase the number. We need to increase their days. If their mission was for 2 months, let's increase it by 3 months. If we're trying to hold back, they are not going to allow us to be arresting people again until we do something. So we have to do something. Those security bosses, they will say, let's do something that will cause them to authorize us to go and arrest more people. That's why they are burning down our schools. Why are they not burning the politicians' houses? Why are they not burning the parliamentarian houses? Why there are chiefs that are even against the movement? Why are they not burning their houses? Why are they burning down schools? Because these are client businesses. These are clients to the security bosses. So they punish them anytime they want to punish them. They want to get money from them. And then the other reason why they are burning down the schools is that they think that somehow by continue to burn down schools, important infrastructures, the population, parents at one point will turn against the leadership of our struggle. They will turn to rebellion. So they actually go on a rampage to burn. Say, since you people want to be rebellious, we are going to burn. And they believe that by burning down good schools, schools that are historic significance, schools that are beloved by the population, if they can burn them down, it it will play into the psychology of the parents who will finally give up on the struggle and say, no, what kind of people are these who are burning all our important things? So that's one thing they hope to achieve. To use that to turn the heart of the parents against the movement. They are doing that. Then also, we should also understand that all the security bosses that have been sent to Southern Cameroon are of the Franco-Beti mafia. All those that are commanding units, they are of the Beti clan. They have a bitterness against the Southern Cameroon. And because of that, the government thinks that they are the best to be utilized for a successful repression. Because they always say, whenever they talk about this, our Southern Cameroon thing, they say, ces anglophones là, ils dérangent. They look at us like a pest. We are disturbing them. We are depriving them. We want to take that which they are enjoying. So they are coming to the scene with such bitterness against us. Ces anglophones, ils dérangent. That they are disturbing. What's wrong with them? What do they want? What do they want to show? So they get those kind of people who have been so indoctrinated to hate us because we are disturbing them. They say, go and teach them a lesson. So by the time they drop down from their trucks, from their armored trucks, they come down with that bitterness that we want to go and show these people who want to disturb us. So some of them just take the delight to touch anything they want to touch, to shoot anyone they want to shoot, to arrest anybody they want to arrest, to molest anybody they want to arrest. Ces anglophones, ils dérangent. So this is how the government is perpetuating the burning down of our schools. And also this one who says, ces anglophones, ils dérangent. As the problem persists, they have come to the realization that these people are not going to turn back. It is now clear that this is a one-way journey. They are not going to turn back. There's no one day we are going to get them back again to submit as our slaves perpetually. So there is a likelihood that these people will go. I mean, in their vocabulary. And so, let's destroy what we can destroy. Let's take out everything that they will be proud of after they take their nation back. So they just look for anything that they can do. They just destroy. They see a good school, they destroy. That's what they do. And that's the French mentality. When they were giving independence to African nations, they gave them the two options. Either independence within the French community, then we shall leave you with every little thing that we have done for you, or you accept independence, complete total independence, separate from French. If that's what you want, we will dig out the tar that we have put on the roads. We will dig out the railroads that we have given you. We are going to destroy the ports that we have built. We are going to destroy the buildings and the presidency and other things we have built for you. We are going to take everything that we have done, and we'll take you back to the primitive age so that you can enjoy your independence. So that is the psychology of the Frenchman. Whenever you come to be a friend with him, he's only going to be a friend with you when he is cheating you, taking everything that you have. At any point you decide to accept your independence, he is ready to destroy everything that he thinks you have benefited from that relationship. So that is how they are doing. They want to make sure that they systematically destroy. They have just started with the schools. Very soon they will be targeting important monuments, important buildings, including government offices. When they are vacated, they will destroy them. When they come to the point, even that our Prime Minister's Lodge, if care is not taken, they will target it. Those are the things they will want to destroy before they go, because they are bitter, because because we have taken away their means of livelihood. Have you seen the budget? Have you seen the GDP of Cameroon? If you take away oil, from the GDP of Cameroon, Cameroon will be the poorest nation in the world. If you take away oil now, I was just trying to run through the figures. Cameroon will be the poorest country in the world. In fact, Haiti will be richer than Cameroon. The Central African Republic, which is the 178th nation in the world, will be richer than Cameroon. So you see what they are doing. So now they are angry. They are like an evil husband. Why is this woman trying to go away? I will destroy everything that she ever had. Let her go and start. Let me see. That's what the evil French mafia is doing. And they are trying to stick it on us. They are trying to say every day that we are the ones doing this and doing that. But the evidence have shown. Why is it only schools? What have schools done against us? The real people who are working against us, who are the problem, who are associating with the evil one. How many have we burned down? How many have we killed? How many of their houses have we destroyed? Because that does not help. That does not help. And also, if somebody like Kema knows that if they burn his house, the next day he will receive 60 million from the Ewondobeti mafia. So why should he not call some people and say, go and burn the other part of my house? I have parked my car out there, go and burn it. And then that very evening, the slush fund will start calling. Is there any problem, Honorable? Is there any problem? How can we do to help you? We want to send you 15 million. You see how you can replace that? Say, don't worry, we shall fight. We shall fight. They are not in. Say, okay, don't worry, take 15 million. So, as poor as the country is, every economic index of Cameroon is a minus. It's a minus. As poor as the country is, they are just waiting for somebody's house to be burnt and the millions will come out. People have worked for 10, 15 years. They have not been integrated. But as soon as something burns somewhere, the next day millions are flowing. These are the people who have an interest to make sure that the problem is not solved. That's how it is. So I want to talk about our struggle. I want to talk about ensuring against the Bala phenomenon. And this one I'm talking to everybody because sometimes we don't know who is actually going to make use of information. You can think that you're giving out information, particularly you want to be specific, you want to look for somebody and send information, but it doesn't really get to the person. But because I think some people are listening to me, and some people who listen to me, there are people who listen to them, I decided that I will make this public. Anybody who thinks that what has happened with Mbala cannot happen again is naive. Anybody who thinks that what has happened to Mbala cannot happen with another leader in our struggle is naive. It will happen. I'm not saying it's not a prophecy, but I'm saying that it is human nature. And as long as we are millions involved in this struggle, as long as nobody knows the heart of a man, because the Bible says the heart of a man is dangerously wicked, and nobody can know it. So for us to stay back and say, oh, it has happened with Bala, oh, I breathe a breath of fresh air, it is over, it shall never happen again. Lie, you are naive. That means we may still have some Balas who are not yet known. Some Balas may come in future who may not yet have revealed themselves. So as a struggle, as a movement, we have to make sure that we insure against that type of phenomenon. So I'm going to still go back to our struggle to give you what I call the insurance. This is a revolution. This is not a democracy. Giving. So we must understand how leadership should be organized in a revolution to make sure that what has happened, this Ballamilites, will not cause anyone to be ballad in our leadership. The reason why we survived the Bala scandal or the Bala assault, I know we have survived, so I can say it in the past tense. The reason why we survived is because leadership of this struggle was not in the hands of one man. From the way the consortium was established and the way it emerged, God already gave the founders wisdom to make sure that it's a coordination that is in charge. It's not an individual. It was not a man's enterprise. Power was wielded by a few, but it was given by many. That is why the arrest of one or two or three meant nothing to the revolution. And that is why today the corruption of one or two or three meant nothing to the revolution. Not so much a dent on the revolution. So as we organize, as we plan to organize now, we're moving to forming a government and so on. We are walking on some slippery ground, and we needed to have an insurance plan against Ballamilites. Here is the thing. Power should be wielded by more power should be concentrated within the group than within any individual. The organization of the government, which has become the revolutionary front of our struggle, must be such that power does not reside with one or with a few, but with the majority. So that must be in the structures. It must not just be a wishful thinking. It must be so designed that power resides with the many instead of the few or the individual. Because if that person is ballad, if he is ballad, we are done. A lot of things will go wrong. A lot of things will go wrong. Now, the colonial masters, they don't like the colonial system does not like a system where many are in charge of power. No, they like to have one person who is in charge and always in charge. You know why? Because it's easy to deal with one than to deal with many. And that's why they support all these dictators. That because it is easy for them to sway the man to the left, to work for them, to agree to make a deal with one than to make a deal with many. That's why everywhere they have established one-man rule. There's one-man rule in Congo, one-man rule in La Republic, one-man rule in Gabon, one-man rule in Togo, one-man rule. Everywhere they want to be in charge, they make sure there's a one-man rule. There is somebody in that country who, if he says yes, it is yes. There's somebody in that country who says, I give it to you, and nobody will ask any question. When they are able to establish that kind of system, they can get what they want anytime. They will just ballad the people. They will just ballad the population. So in our struggle, we are going to have a restoration council. We're going to have an executive who is led by the president, and we're going to have an ethic commission, which is supposed to be separate and different. But let me put all that together in a revolution. Let me put all that together. I don't care about the differences. But let me say this. Power should reside with the Restoration Council. Power should reside with the Restoration Council. That means 80% of the power should reside with a council. And let the executive only be a voice. Let the executive only be an echo. They echo the power. They echo the decisions of power. They are not the ones. Power does not belong to them, but they exercise it as they are delegated to do. As they are delegated to do by that power base. Okay? So here is my take. Power should not reside with any individual. It should reside with the Restoration Council, so that anyone in power becomes an echo, not the voice. That means structures have to be put in place for that to happen. Provisions have to be put in place in the Constitution for that to be. So that the Restoration Council can hold a meeting today and they see it necessary for the good of the struggle and make a decision and replace anybody, and there is no dent in the struggle. So that any government cannot go and find one person, persuade one person, ballot one person, and tell the person it's okay. And the person said, don't worry, it's okay, I agree with you. And the rest of us are doomed. And even the rest of the revolutionary members or Restoration Council, they don't even know what to do. They are all completely flabbergasted. No. Whatever decisions are made by whoever is given power by the Restoration Council is just a messenger. He has to fully report to the Restoration Council. And it is the Restoration Council that must validate decisions. You can make any decision, sign any resolution, do anything. If the Restoration Council has not appended that decision, it is zero. If the Restoration Council has not appended that decision, it is null and void. So power resides with the Restoration Council. Because I see a possibility of making the Restoration Council as just a formality that maybe we'll meet once in a year. No! That is where power must be wielded in a revolution. If not, anybody can be ballad. So I challenge all those who are putting the structures in place for a successful revolution to know that what has happened with Mbala may happen again. It's a human virus. But when it does, we should have been wise enough to organize our revolution in such a way that no one man can ballad the revolution. We should not find ourselves with a situation, very awkward situation, where we don't agree with what is going on, but we are completely powerless, and there's nothing we can do. We don't even know what to do. No. We have to organize it in such a way that the people are in charge. So finally, before I leave, I want to congratulate the consortium for, I'm trying to congratulate the consortium, which for us is a very legal organization, very legal, for taking the decision they took to dismiss the founding president, to dismiss him publicly. It was almost late, but I want to say congratulations for being bold, for doing the right thing. Now, for your information, the consortium in southern Cameroon is a legal organization. The consortium in the southern Cameroon is a legal organization. We have not banned it. We have not banned the consortium. It is our organization. It represents the groups, the civil society organizations in southern Cameroon. It has not been banned. Maybe there is a La République consortium that has been banned, but the consortium of civil society organizations in southern Cameroon has not been banned by the government of the southern Cameroon, by the people of southern Cameroon. It is one of our mouthpieces in this struggle. So it has not been banned. So anybody who agrees with the talking points of La République, which says the consortium has been banned, do you know what? That person is saying that SCNC has been banned. That person is also saying that SCNC is illegal. That person is also saying that the consortium is illegal, the SCNC is illegal, the government of Ambazonia too is illegal. That's the same thing. You cannot say one is illegal, the other one is not. For you to say it is illegal, it means the government of Ambazonia is illegal. That's what you actually mean. So what makes you, what does that make you? What does that make you? In fact, you are also saying that our struggle is illegal. When you say the consortium is illegal, you are actually saying that even our struggle too is illegal. Our struggle is illegal, the consortium is illegal, SCNC is illegal, the government council is illegal. Then who are you? Show me your face. Who are you? A Wondo Betty Mafia stooge. You are working for the mafia. You speak exactly like King Jongbia. Exactly. How can you say the consortium is illegal? Who made it illegal? You, your boss, or the people of Southern Cameroon? The consortium, I wanted to say you are very, very intelligent and very, very to be trusted. I thought you were lost. When I was talking and talking, I didn't see your faces. I didn't see your action. Now you are still in charge. Congratulations. Anyone who agrees to be hired actively to fight against the wishes of the majority of his people and call our actions illegal I call our organizations illegal because an alien force, an alien a government, an occupation force called that our organization illegal, and he too says it is illegal. That person is not qualified to lead anything in our land. So that's why I wanted to congratulate you. And henceforth, I will suggest henceforth that don't waste time, because a stitch at a time saves 9. When people start talking like La Republique, they start walking like La Republique, they start associating like La Republique, what are you waiting for? In a revolution, what are you waiting for? You know what a revolution is? A revolution is not a democracy. Look, in a revolution, anybody who is against the will of the people is an enemy. It's not called an opponent. Go and read about revolutions. Anybody in a revolution who stands against the will of the people is not called an opponent. It's not called my learned colleague. It's called an enemy. And they deal with you squarely. The ANC even had an execution camp where they executed their enemies. The people who stood against their revolutions and who came within the group, they executed them. You don't come to a revolution and say, let's talk democracy. Let's debate our good ideas. The revolution is one way. No, nothing else. Nobody's above the revolution. Everybody believes in something and they are all invested in that thing. If you stand against it, you are the enemy of the revolution, period. So, that's why I just wanted to congratulate you for what you did. But I want that to be a good example. And for everybody to know that the revolution is above everybody. It's above everybody. God bless you. And I wish to see you again next time. God bless.